Why Europe doesn't build skyscrapers like the US or Asia? Have you ever wondered why Europe doesn't seem to have as many towering skyscrapers as the United States or Asia? While US and Asian cities boast some of the tallest buildings in the world, Europe seems to have a different approach to urban development. In this video, we'll explore the fascinating reasons behind this architectural contrast. From the quaint cobblestone streets of Paris to the picturesque canals of Venice, Europe's cities exude a timeless charm that is distinctly different from the towering metropolises of the East and West. But why is this the case? Let's dive into the historical, cultural, and economic factors that have shaped Europe's unique architectural landscape. To understand why Europe has taken a different approach to skyscrapers, we must delve into its historical context. European cities have a rich and complex history, shaped by centuries of urban planning and development. For example, Paris, known for its elegant boulevards and historic architecture, was carefully planned during the 18th century under the reign of King Louis XIV. This urban renewal project, known as Haussmannization, sought to transform Paris into a more efficient and aesthetically pleasing city. The initiative emphasized walkability, increased density, and the preservation of historic buildings while introducing wide boulevards and open spaces. Haussmann's vision aimed to enhance both the functionality and beauty of the city, setting a lasting architectural standard. However, the Industrial Revolution brought significant changes to European cities. The rise of factories and industries led to rapid urbanization and the growth of sprawling industrial towns. These cities often lacked the same level of planning and focus on quality of life as their older counterparts. Following World War II, Europe faced a massive task of rebuilding its cities. In many cases, the focus was on providing affordable housing for returning soldiers and displaced populations. This led to a boom in suburban development and the construction of low-rise housing projects. While this approach helped address the immediate housing crisis, it also contributed to the decline of many city centers. Beyond the historical context, cultural and social factors also heavily influence Europe's approach to urban development. Many Europeans place a strong emphasis on maintaining a high quality of life, which encompasses a variety of factors, including access to ample green spaces, reduced noise pollution, and fostering a strong sense of community. These priorities often lead to urban planning that favors livability over density, with a focus on creating harmonious, people-centered environments. Consequently, this mindset often limits the development of towering skyscrapers, as European cities strive to balance modernization with the well-being and social cohesion of their residents. Cities like Copenhagen, Denmark, are renowned for their emphasis on sustainability and livability. The city has invested heavily in cycling infrastructure and pedestrian-friendly zones, creating a more pleasant and healthy environment for its residents. Another significant factor is the preservation of Europe's rich architectural heritage. Many cities across the continent boast centuries-old buildings, monuments, and cultural landmarks that are integral to their historical identity and charm. The desire to safeguard these iconic structures often imposes restrictions on the construction of taller, more modern buildings. Protecting these historic sites is seen as crucial to maintaining the cultural and aesthetic character of European cities. As a result, urban planners are often required to strike a delicate balance between modernization and preservation, ensuring that new developments respect the architectural legacy of the past. Europe's extensive public transportation networks significantly reduce the need for private cars, contributing to a more sustainable urban lifestyle. This reliance on efficient public transit also decreases the demand for high-rise buildings, which are typically linked to car-dependent, densely populated cities. As a result, urban development in Europe often prioritizes lower density, more environmentally conscious living spaces. Cities such as London, Paris, and Berlin have made substantial investments in underground railways, tram systems, and extensive bus networks. These well-developed public transit systems provide residents with efficient alternatives to personal vehicles, making daily commutes and travel across the city convenient and environmentally friendly. This emphasis on public transport reduces traffic congestion and promotes sustainable urban living. Economic factors also play a significant role in shaping Europe's urban landscape. In many European cities, land costs are significantly higher than in the United States or Asia. This makes it less economically viable to build skyscrapers, which require large land footprints and substantial investments. Additionally, building regulations in Europe tend to be more stringent compared to other regions, posing challenges for skyscraper construction. These regulations prioritize safety, sustainability, and energy efficiency, often resulting in more complex and costly projects. For instance, strict requirements for seismic resistance, fire safety measures, and energy efficiency standards can significantly increase both the financial and technical demands of construction. While these regulations aim to ensure the long-term resilience and environmental sustainability of buildings, they also make the process of erecting skyscrapers more difficult, requiring developers to navigate a dense framework of compliance while balancing innovation and practicality. Environmental concerns are a significant factor in limiting the development of skyscrapers across Europe. Public opinion frequently leans towards the preservation of green spaces and mitigating the urban heat island effect, both of which are crucial to maintaining a sustainable urban environment. Strict environmental regulations, particularly those related to air quality, energy consumption, and carbon emissions, further complicate the process of obtaining permits for large-scale construction projects. These regulations reflect the growing awareness of the environmental impact of high-rise buildings, prioritizing sustainability and ecological balance over rapid urban expansion, which often leads to a more cautious approach to skyscraper development. While skyscrapers may not be as common in Europe as in the United States or Asia, there are a few notable examples of high-rise buildings that have been successfully integrated into their urban environments. The Shard, the tallest skyscraper in London, is a remarkable example of modern architecture that has firmly established itself as a key landmark in the city's skyline. Its unique design blends traditional elements of European architecture, particularly the pointed elegance of Gothic spires, with sleek, contemporary aesthetics. Rising 95 stories, the building's glass facade reflects the city's rich history while symbolizing its forward-looking ambitions. This fusion of old and new gives the Shard a distinctive character, showcasing how modern architectural design can honor historical influences while embracing innovation and cutting-edge construction techniques. However, while London and New York have similar populations, New York's skyline is far more vertical, with 15 buildings exceeding the height of the Shard. This highlights the contrast between the cities, with New York known for its dense cluster of super-tall skyscrapers, whereas London's skyline is more spread out and characterized by a mix of historical and modern architecture. Europe's capital cities feature impressive skyscrapers, but they generally lag behind the towering giants of the United States and Asia. Here are a few examples. In Paris, the tallest building is the Tour First, at 758 feet. Located in the La Défense district, it's a symbol of Paris's financial hub, but is modest compared to the megastructures in other parts of the world. Madrid's Torre de Cristal, at 817 feet, is the tallest building in Spain. Part of the Cuatro Torres business area, it exemplifies modern Spanish architecture, but it's a fraction of the height of skyscrapers in the US or Asia. In Berlin, the skyline is gradually evolving with the construction of taller buildings, and the Edge East Side Tower is currently the city's tallest at 469 feet. This tower represents a shift towards more modern, sustainable skyscrapers in Berlin's predominantly low-rise cityscape, although it's still modest compared to the soaring heights of the world's tallest skyscrapers. Lastly, Rome, known for its ancient architecture, has relatively few tall buildings, with the Torre Eurosky at 509 feet being its highest, minuscule compared to global skyscraper standards. In conclusion, Europe's approach to urban development is shaped by a complex interplay of historical, cultural, economic, and regulatory factors. While skyscrapers are not as prevalent as in other parts of the world, Europe has developed a unique urban character that prioritizes quality of life, heritage preservation, and sustainability. As cities continue to grow and evolve, it is likely that Europe will continue to grapple with the challenges and opportunities presented by high-rise development. While the trend towards denser urban living may increase the demand for skyscrapers, the strong cultural and environmental values that shape Europe's cities will likely continue to influence its architectural landscape. We invite you to share your thoughts on the topic in the comments section below. Do you believe that Europe will see more skyscrapers in the future? Or do you think that the continent's unique approach to urban planning will continue to limit their development? Let us know your opinions in the comment below.